On the interwebs with Google.
Google.
We're live now.
The one and only Google. Oh, sorry, we sing before the shows, folks.
That's how we warm up. Me, me, me.
Me, 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 me.
You. Mine. Mine?
Oh. Okay, we got our pronouns done.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to major nouns.
Work on the amateur adverbs.
Oh, the amateur. Okay.
Hey, we could do a podcast tonight.
Should we? On Star Wars Rogue One?
I haven't seen that trailer yet. Don't spoil it for me.
I haven't bothered to watch it, so I can't spoil it.
I watched it.
That's okay. I haven't seen the new Star Wars movie
Star
yet.
Wars universe.
It's not as good as Rogue 2.
Well, the monkey, the cop, and the mustache might show
What about
up.
Red 5?
Standing by.
Standing by. Fire red particle cannons full, blue particle cannons full, and throw that at him.
Hey, nothing personal, guys, but I'm cleaning up the Q&A.
Okay.
Is there a show tonight or just Q&A? No, let's just do Q&A.
Three Hams has watched the trailer 4 times. I haven't even watched the tow vehicle.
But I need to wash the RV. Oh, I don't
Yeah.
have an RV. Right there with you, Brian. Hashtag Star Wars.
The
Texas heat is hit out here. We're 80 degrees today.
There's your show for the night.
Thank you. Good night. It shows we have 2 viewers, but we have like 16 people in the Q&A.
Rawsome.
I just brought home The Force Awakens last night and watched it.
Did it keep you up?
Yes. It ended exactly the same as it did in the theaters. I was disappointed. I was hoping for another ending.
The alternate ending?
Yeah.
I've seen the actual very end of it because it was playing on Mrs. Land Monkey's video on the flight home.
Okay.
And so while I was really trying not to watch it and just sleep, because I didn't want to spoil it by watching it on a screen this big, I'd rather watch it on a screen at least this big.
I believe it ends with the scene that says, all characters in this movie were fictitious. No real persons alive or dead were something along those lines.
Oh, I thought it ended with no Ewoks were harmed in the filming of this movie.
Well, no.
Nick says, there was a hand with that. Did you bring the hand?
All right.
Okay. Gary wants a show. Gary,
all right.
That's it. I'm going to do a show just to spite you.
Okay. Is it the Slinky Monkey Show?
Please, no more.
Hey, what's wrong with the Slinky Monkey Show?
I don't think there should ever be Slinky Monkeys.
See if we get any more Land Monkey family cameos tonight.
We may.
You get a family cameo.
As long as they're not audio ones from next door. All right.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to play some music. Wits End, you open. Land Monkey, you close. And away we go.
Oh, yes. Welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching right here in the Great Pacific Northwest. We'll talk about caches and caches unique to this little corner of the country. So, even if you're an Okie from Muskogee, it's time to go caching in the Northwest.
And we can't go caching in the Northwest until we bring in our flying monkey. Some say he was the first to find the true source of the Fraser River. And others say he climbs Mount Rainier just to warm up for Earth caches. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Hey, that's me. Yes, traveling the world and, well, at least North America in search of, just so many things, including geocaches. All right. Well, guys, it's great to be back once again this week. And honestly, I got to say, I feel like we've just been podcasting all week long.
Non-stop podcasting.
I know, Bad Cop, this is how you feel every week, but wow, it has been a lot of podcasting this week. But it's awesome. Just enjoying it and getting out for some geocaching too. But hey.
Now, what do you mean by that? What's the extra bit of podcasting?
Oh, that's the part between where I open and Len Monkey closes. I thought that was all we were going to do tonight. But apparently there's stuff in between.
This week, I was going to mention a little bit later, but I was a guest on another podcast this week. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yeah, so hey, folks, before we get going, first, let's start glowing.
Oh, and let's start glowing. The geocaching log of the week, as it were. It's a new favorite segment. And Bad Cop, this is from who? Is it? Is JPDC the cache owner or?
No, Zarasha is the cache owner. This is actually from Mrs. Smee.
Mrs. Smee, okay. And it's from Geocache with the code GC62EFR. And the contributor has this to say. This is a log from that cache. It says from March 27th. Others have mentioned about getting muddy when looking for this cache. I read that ahead of time and thought I could easily avoid that now that I'm armed with information. Well, it didn't work. Point Defiance is notorious for confusing your GPSR. Mine fell prey to the curse. I wandered around for 30 minutes, never more than 40 foot from ground zero. Now there's one steep, muddy slope that I had not checked out yet. This is where others must have gotten muddy. I won't do the same thing. One cautious step, fine. Another, good, I got this. Wham! Down I go. Sliding down another couple of feet until I stop. Yep, I'm muddy. The only thing I hurt was my pride. Well, since I'm down here, I should look around. Nope, cache is not here. I try to scamper back up the slippery slope, fall, and try again. Don't go down the slope. Back up top, I move to another area and spot the cache almost immediately. The container and logger in great shape. Oh, and I left a working pen in the container.
So, yeah, that was funny that my own log was sent to me as a glow. And that's the reason I always carry a towel in the car. That and the advice from Ford Prefect.
There you go. I was going to say, if you carry a car in the towel, you have a very strong towel.
Yeah.
Well, I only work with strong towels. Sorry, I've done a lot of podcasting this week.
Right.
A couple of weeks back, we talked with 3 mud dogs about geocachers exploring Oregon, or Geo. And that was a great episode. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it now. That is one organization that is very well organized and very active in their community. Now, 3 mud dogs wrote me. She caught me putting words in her mouth. So I had mentioned that Geo had reached out to the WSGA when in fact it was a cacher named Verano. She was, until this year, the Southwest chapter rep for WSGA, covering the Vancouver area. And those events, the cache maintenance events, was her idea. So 3 mud dogs thought it was a great idea, so they jumped on board the bandwagon to support her and make both events a success. So Geo wants to thank Verano for the idea and including their side of the river so that the entire Portland-Vancouver metro area would benefit. So there you go. Thank you for the correction, 3 mud dogs. I mean, I don't ever want to misspeak, and I want you to be represented, or any guest to be represented honestly on the podcast. So if you guys catch us making a mistake, call us on it. Hey, we're human. We're not above reproach. Well, sometimes we are.
We're at least approachable.
Yeah. Now, the
yes.
Never mind.
Were we just gonna? Why don't we? Before I jump into, so we did get some email, and I'm going to jump into that. But before I jump into that, why don't we just wrap up the glow and let people know how to send a glow to the show?
How do you send a glow to the show? whether it's yours or not, we want to hear about it. Perhaps it's a log you've read while trying to find that tough cache, because that's what I do. I look for hints in previous logs, and some of these logs are written really well. So if you found a cache like that or a log like that, send it to us. Send an email to feedback@cachingnw.com. You can call in to 253-693-TFTC, or the preferred method is to use the voicemail tool on the website and show us how you glow.
Awesome. Well, and speaking of sending email to feedback@cachingnw.com, we did get an email, a question sent in by email from Mrs. Smee. Mrs. Smee writes, I have a question about related web pages. I think for those who may not know what she's talking about, that's when you, on a cache description page right up at the top, there can sometimes be a little link that you can click on that says related web page.
And we, sorry to interrupt, we mentioned that during the puzzle cache episode.
Ah, okay. So this is why it's coming up.
Links and hints are in those related web pages.
Did we mention it in the episode or in the after show?
I think it was in the episode because I seem to recall that now. I actually just listened to the previous 2 episodes that I wasn't on very recently. Anyways, so yes, she says, I have a question about related web pages. I came across one that had nothing to do with the cache and was an ad for nursing services. I know that type of business-related stuff isn't allowed in a regular cache write-up. Is it allowed on a related web page? Thanks for your input, Mrs. Smee. So my answer here, I would say I have one word to respond to that if it was in a log, and that would be delete, because it's not a log. However, this wasn't a log. This was a related web page that the cache owner obviously had connected to their cache page for reasons unknown. I think that advertising a business, in fact, even a community group or event, is technically against the guidelines. Now, that said, I call out to any reviewers in our audience to give an answer to this very good question. I would like to know the authoritative answer as opposed to my opinion.
There you go. It's very possible, and you create a cache listing, link a website to it, and that website could change in the background without you knowing about it. So that's a possibility. I want to give the cache owner, the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But may not be true.
Anything's possible, but as Len Monkey mentioned, we'd like to get the definitive and authoritative answer from those in the know. And we'll share it right here on cachingnw.com. So, geocaching. That's where you go out and you look at geocache web pages and find the related web pages on the listings, and then you find the cache, and then you write logs that might be glow-worthy.
Very good.
That's caching, right?
Yes.
Wow. I should try that.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you gentlemen done any of that this past week?
Parts of it.
Yeah, parts of it. Yeah, I've looked at web pages this week.
Okay.
Some of them related, some of them completely unrelated. We waited, and do you know what happened?
Did a reviewer give an answer to our question?
Yes. A reviewer pops in. The one, the only, Skookum Bear.
Skookum Bear.
Oh, I like that. We need to make that a ringtone.
Skookum Bear.
Skookum Bear replies, you are correct. Related web pages are not allowed to be commercial. As Bad Cop mentioned, those pages may have changed ownership since the cache page was created and been turned into an ad-heavy site.
Very cool.
Fair enough. There you go.
You never know. So, actual caching, not a lot. I'm still on this streak. I'm hesitant to find caches in the area that will take away from when I really need one, and I don't have an hour and a half to drive during lunch to go get these. But I did take my wife and parents up to the Tulip Festival in Skagit County. Now that's south for you, Land Monkey, but it's north for me.
Yes, actually, it is.
It's almost midway in between.
Very close.
Absolutely beautiful. If you haven't been there, I probably haven't been there in 20 years myself. My parents are relatively new in the area, and that was a way to go. On Saturday, they had record-breaking attendance. We went on Sunday, which I assume was also record-breaking attendance because, we got within 5 miles and just creeped in the car. We could have walked there quicker than we actually drove there.
Wow.
But the tulips were beautiful. Now, I did look on my phone for nearby caches, and there weren't any within a mile of where we were. I know, and with the traffic the way it was, I wasn't willing to drive more than a mile anywhere because it was going to take you an hour.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that sounds like fun.
It was a good time. I did find some munsies, but no geocaches. What about you, Wits End? Have you been out caching?
No. How about that for the long descriptive answer? Been doing some projects at work, working late hours, and doing a bunch of other stuff in nighttime. So, we have a geocaching-based podcast so that we can talk about geocaching and primarily talk about land monkey geocaching because I think he's the only one of the three of us that is really, really active in geocaching. So, land monkey, what were you active with this week in the area of geocaching?
Oh my goodness. This week, geocaching, podcasting about geocaching, and podcasting about geocaching. It has been a busy week. So let's see. Saturday, we headed to Point Roberts, Washington, with Mrs. Land Monkey's sister Donners for some fun geocaching adventures. Sunday morning, we met the Memphis Mafia in Vancouver. Then we did some caching and some Munsey in Stanley Park. Then on the way home, performed some cache maintenance and called it a day. Then Sunday evening, I guested on the Cache and Release podcast. So yeah, a really, really busy weekend. But speaking of cache maintenance, that, good listener, is our topic du jour.
Oh, maybe it is, Monsieur Land Monkey. But before we transition completely, I understand you captured some audio for our listeners.
He did. These land monkeys are prolific. They do everything. So let's hear what it sounds like to geocache in Point Roberts, thanks to the Land Monkey and his very own caching crew.
Hey guys, it's the Land Monkeys. We were out for another geocaching adventure. We are in Point Roberts, and we just thought we would soothe your ears with the gentle sounds of nature. So as you can hear the frogs in the background, we're just going to head on, find a couple of caches in here, but we're going to play a little more audio, a little further along at a very cool cache, so hang tight and we'll play that in a moment. Hey guys, it's the Land Monkeys and Donners, and we are here at Point Roberts, and we're at it's a waypoint for a multi-cache, and there's this steel pipe that sticks out of the ground, and it says to drop a rock down the hole at the top of the steel pipe and listen to the sound it makes. So we tried it, and we thought you guys might want to hear this. This is pretty cool. So let's check it out. How cool is that? All right, thanks for listening.
So that was very cool.
It was pretty neat.
Very nicely with the Star Wars mentions we had earlier.
There you go. The funniest part about that was that we dropped a rock down. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I thought, okay, let's record some audio. We'll do a second rock and record some audio, and then we'll move on, do some more caching. So drop a second rock down, record the audio as you heard, and then I'm like, okay, let's keep going. Well, it took a while to get Mrs. Land Monkey's sister Donners away from that pipe. He's like, oh, I want to drop another rock. Find me another rock. What happens if we drop 3 rocks at once? Like, okay, we heard the rock. It's going to sound the same as the last one.
The pipe is full of rocks now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this waypoint for this cache. It's a multi-cache that takes you all over Point Roberts. It's super cool. We've actually been working on it for about 3 visits down there, and we've finally got the final coordinates now. And that's one of the waypoints. And there's a traditional not far from there as well. But it's been there. That cache has been out for quite a while. And there's quite a few quite a few people who've come there and dropped rocks, I'm sure, as well as, I mean, obviously the local kids must know that. It's right by the water supply tanks for the town. So, yeah.
So the town's water is full of rocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Point Roberts is technically Washington State, but it can only be reached by driving through Canada. It's the United States, but it's not physically attached to the United States, much like Alaska.
Yeah, but much smaller.
Oh,
We
much.
control the horizontal, we control the vertical.
Thank you for letting us go to our own country.
You're welcome.
We have to traverse yours in order to do it, though.
There you go.
We're nice.
Well, that was cool. Sound effects and those things are fun to listen to. And thanks for recording that and thinking of the rest of us while you were up there caching.
No worries.
And it is springtime. Springtime is time to do, well, cache maintenance, is it not? In the Q&A, Skook and Bear says part of that spring cleaning process might be to, well, review your cache pages, related links, image links, and so on, especially if the cache page has been around for a while.
That is really good advice.
Yeah,
Yes, it
good
is.
geocache
That's
owners,
one thing I don't think about.
get out there and do maintenance. And any tips, Bad Cop, for said cache maintenance?
I would start with simply do it. Now, I'm not going to advocate that you need to go out and check your cache after each and every DNF. But if they're 2, 3, 4 in a row, it's probably time. You know, it's really nice to have Sprouter come through and replace your full log sheets, but not every cacher is as nice or prepared, perhaps, as Sprouter. He did that for me recently.
That's very cool. And there's a couple of cachers up this way who do that as well. I know Brylang does that. I think I've seen 3 Hams in a Rows do that. GeoNav Pros do that a lot. Yeah, there's a few folks up here who do that, which is really awesome. But again, that's not their responsibility. It's just really nice if they happen to do it. So yeah, we should do that. And speaking of cache logs, folks may remember not too long ago, we had the marketing director for Write in the Rain paper on our show just a couple of months back, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you were listening to that show, and even if you didn't listen to that show, you may recall that they provide a product that is not only exceptional for geocaches as log sheet material, but it is manufactured locally to the Northwest. So, you know, there you go. Support a local company that is this is their 100th anniversary this year?
I believe that's correct.
Is that what I understood this summer? So very, very cool. But what else should we be thinking about using to refresh our geocaches?
Oh, the geocaches. I know. I'm sorry, I won't go into a French accent. I know our faithful and very intelligent listeners would only use the best geocaching container when hiding their own caches. But, you know, even after a winter of extremes like we've had, it's good to go check on your caches to make sure they're still weather tight and the log is dry and there's still plenty of room for the hordes of summer cachers to sign.
That's right. We are heading into that summer caching season. And, you know, as much as we love Write in the Rain paper, not everybody uses it. So sometimes there's some plain old regular paper in there getting soggy and mushy. So what really helps to prevent that is a good fresh O-ring in that cache container you've deployed. And those things aren't, you know, impervious to wear and tear and age. So take some replacing O-rings with you. They get worn out. You can replace one and help maintain a dry, clean cache for the next cacher.
On that note, if I can just interrupt for a second with saying, ironically, at the dollar store, it's not ironic, it's coincidentally, at the dollar store the other day, as I was picking up supplies to build a new cache, I noticed they actually sold a package of assorted O-rings. I thought, well, that's pretty cool, and I didn't buy it, and I probably should have. And just
how much would they cost?
It was like $2.
Wait a minute, at the dollar store?
Well, yeah, it's $2 store.
Okay.
I
It's a
don't
Canadian
know.
exchange rate.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I know it's there. Okay, how many things in the dollar store actually cost $1. Come on.
Everything in the dollar store is supposed to cost $1. That's why it's called a dollar store.
Right.
Okay, that's
In the
not
five
what
and dime era.
Yeah. No, there were only a nickel and a dime back then. It wasn't even $1. Never mind. We won't get onto that. So pick up O-rings. Whether you get them at the big box hardware store or your local dollar-ish store. Take some O-rings with you if you have a container that uses them.
Mm-hmm.
In the Q&A, another thing that I had forgotten to mention, but of course G-Slink, this guy seems to know a lot about caching. He says swag. Make sure your swag is updated. That's a nice thing. I mean, I personally don't look or take swag anymore because, I've already got it all. I don't need any more.
Because your kids are bigger?
Yes, my kids are bigger. But, I just picked up some items recently that I'm going to go dump in caches to help add more swag. So.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, and another tip is as spring rolls out and we move it towards summer, keep an eye out for events that are being placed near where you may have a cache location, because that may create a surge in visits to your cache, and you'll want to do some maintenance before to get your cache ready for all the visits, or after to repair your cache after all the visits, or replace the full log sheet, or both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very likely both, because some of those events draw a lot of visitors here in the Northwest. And after you do that maintenance, put an owner maintenance log on your own cache. Log in and do some online updates. So that tells everybody, well, it tells them you're a responsible cache owner. And gosh, just a golly gee all around good person. Okay, maybe not quite that much, but it lets the reviewers know that you are on top of it, that this is not an abandoned cache, that this is something that you're taking care of.
Absolutely. The pause here is because the bad cop is putting something in the show notes, so we're all reading it and waiting anxiously. What's he writing? What do we have to say now?
What I'm writing is something that was added in the Q&A that I think we should all know about.
Okay.
Is it the YouTube link?
Brylang says, while out maintaining your caches, or maintenancing your caches, no, it's not a real word. Consider if it might be time to archive a cache where the container is in rough shape. Rather than fixing it, maybe let it go and replace it with a new cache nearby, or let somebody else have the spot.
Let somebody else have the spot if they promise they're not going to hang a crappy cache there.
So can you auction off the good spots?
Ooh.
You know what? That sounds like a really good idea.
Geocacheauction.com. I'm going to go claim
Go register it right now.
Oh boy.
No, that is good advice. And as reticent as I am sometimes to let a spot go, sometimes it's something you just need to do, and you have to trust that somebody else is going to come up and do something interesting and cool that maybe you didn't think about. Not all the new geocaches that get put out are crappy ones. Just some of them. All right. Well, speaking of crappy geocaches, another item to be cognizant of is that the reviewers are also doing spring cleaning. So don't be surprised to see a reviewer's note and possibly a disabling of caches that you own if those caches have a few DNFs on them.
Well, Land Monkey, I don't think you're just saying that. I think you're bringing that up for a reason.
Yeah, okay. I have to admit I have a minor rant here. And before I start my rant, I just want to qualify here, and I want to say that it may sound like I'm picking on reviewers, but I'm not. The point here is in defense of the working relationship between reviewers and cache owners, and the rant is more directed at geocaching.com and how they empower and support the reviewers. So, that said, I would absolutely love, to see geocaching.com provide reviewers with some sort of consistent set of tools, database queries, something like that, and policies, so that all caches and cache owners would be under a consistent set of rules when it comes to flagging their caches. I bring this up? Well, hold on. Before I get into why I brought it up, I do believe that the current situation, it creates an environment where cachers can feel like they're singled out by the reviewers. So the reason I bring this up is not that I necessarily feel that I'm singled out, but I am observing a situation where that could feel like it's the case. I have a cache that received 5 DNFs in a period of a month. Then that cache got disabled by a reviewer and got the 30-day warning. Now, not far from that cache of mine is another cache that has 8 DNFs over a period of 3 months with no response from the cache owner and no action taken by the reviewer. So, I'm not saying the reviewer is singling me out, but I'm saying if there was, if there's some sort of tool where it's like, okay, X number of DNFs over this period of time without a response from the cache owner, flag. Okay, now we know we need to go do something. Maybe that exists, I don't know, but I say, what gives? I don't expect the reviewers to check every single cache and count DNFs. That's ridiculous. You can't do that. But I say because there isn't some sort of consistent system, at least as far as I know, tools to support that, an environment's created that can breed animosity if it's left unchecked. So I am encouraging geocaching.com to invest some time in enabling a system that is fair and transparent. And that's my rant. So, if I'm wrong in my opinions and my understanding of the facts, I call on you good listeners to correct me and inform me.
Now, I am the bad cop.
Yes, you are.
However, I'm going to play the devil's advocate on the side of good, not evil. Can that be true?
So I'm the evil monkey.
No, not at all. But that assumes that you're in an area with a good number of geocaches and a good number of geocachers.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's the situation I'm talking about.
Right. But there could be a geocache in, let's pick on Idaho, right? It's out in the middle of nowhere. It could have 5 DNFs on it in a year's time. Where that doesn't fit into, well, it's 3 months or 1 month or, if somebody hasn't found it in a long time, and we're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of newbie cachers that don't log DNFs. So
right.
The DNFs tend to be a little more. I want to say it's the seasoned cachers that put the DNFs out there.
Generally, I would agree with that.
For the most part.
But either way, I think you can still. There's enough data. There's enough data and metadata behind every geocache listing that you could very easily build a system that is going to say, X number of DNFs without, follow the Munsey system, X number of DNFs without a response from the cache owner over X period of time, and the cache has to be, within this range of difficulty because, a high difficulty cache is going to get more DNFs.
Yeah, I was going to add that factor in there.
So, but you can do that. That's not that hard to do, to build that. And then it's an automated system. It pops a message up for the reviewers. I think there's like 3 or 4 reviewers that cover our area up here. Pops a message up in the queue. A reviewer takes a quick look and can make a judgment call on it.
Well,
but then it's a level playing field, right?
That's true.
If nothing else, then everybody knows the rules. Right now, unless I'm mistaken, without reading through the geocaching.com guidelines with a fine-tooth comb, I don't think generally geocache owners know what the criteria is that gets a geocache disabled and the 30-day notice.
Well, I have to agree with you. And you don't know what communication has happened with your cache nearby there with the 8 DNFs over 3 months. Perhaps there's been communication of, it's still there, it's hard to find, and
Well, it's nothing in the logs though, right? And that's
right. I don't know. I'm not going to jump in the middle of your rant. I already did. So in that case, let me finish. No. I agree with you. I really like the Munsey system. 2 DNFs and it's disabled. Okay, I think for geocaching that's a little steep.
Right. You don't have to be exactly the same system, but what I'm saying is learn from what works for them and apply a more sophisticated system that clearly they have the tools and the technology for. So there you go. There's my rant. I'm all ranted out.
And if
I
Land
don't
Monkey's
believe you.
caches start getting disabled right away, we'll know that he hit a nerve. Just saying.
But Land Monkey being the cache owner, the conscientious cache owner that he is, of course the reviewers know, well, if something's wrong with this, he's going to take care of it. So.
And then say sorry.
Yeah, well, there's that. Anyways, on that note, I have done maintenance on almost all of my caches. So, ha.
Ha. 3 hams in a rose.
Yes.
Let me say that slowly because some people don't hear me when I say it. 3 hams and a rose. Was it Gary Slinker when he came on goes, oh, that's 3 hams. Apparently I'm saying it too fast and people aren't understanding. So, to give him proper credit, 3 hams in a rose says, there's a known and confirmed bias displayed by reviewers in the Vancouver area. I've chatted with a few of them about this. Note, Skookumbear is not one that I've chatted with. Certain cachers are indeed on blacklist due to prior issues. And... ... Next note, will get archived after something as simple as 1 DNF. Some of the cachers deserve it after repeated warnings. Other cachers have changed their behavior, but it is too late. Well...
Wow, that's dramatic.
Yes, it is. Skookumbear says, and I picked up the wrong one first. Also, if there's a cache you have concerns about, send a note to a reviewer, and we can take a look.
Yeah, that's fair.
Skookumbear. I assume Skookumbear's a he. It seems like a bear should be a he. But,
well, Skookumbear.
Yeah. If there's a cache that is obviously not there and has a lot of DNFs, feel free to add a needs archived note. One of us reviewers will see it and take action.
I just hate the needs archived though. I hate to do that. I'll definitely do a needs maintenance.
Yeah.
Needs archived is just so dramatic. I mean, that's like a Dear Geocache guy move.
Needs archived is like the landowner approached you while you were out geocaching and said, "Get this thing off my land." That's a needs archived. If the cache is obviously not there or has been damaged in some way, that's a need maintenance. But
agreed.
Who am I? I'm not a reviewer that you know of.
That we know of, absolutely. All right. Well, this has been actually a very engaging conversation today. I've been enjoying this. What I do want to mention is, speaking of spring cleaning, to remind everybody that we are also on the cusp of Ceto Week. It's not just one weekend. This year it's 2 weekends and the week in between. So watch for those events to start popping up. They should already have been popping up for you guys wherever you are in NorthWest area. I know for the Greater Vancouver / Lower Mainland, there's at least 3 now. There is Bry Lang's has an event in McDonald Park. It's the McDonald Park Ceto GC6F37C. Bug Girl 1975 has Ceto in Mackin Park, which is GC6F1V6 in Coquitlam. And us monkeys are holding our very first officially monkey-hosted Ceto. We called it Monkey Ceto Monkey Do. It's GC6F3HF, and it's in Williams Park in Langley. So, those are the ones that I've seen posted up here. Do you guys know if there's anything going on yet south of the border?
Yeah,
well, of course there is.
Put us on the spot. Let's see.
Not hosted by us, but
No.
I know there are events down here. And hopefully they're scheduled because you have to have 2 weeks in advance to schedule. Is that not correct?
Yeah, it's already too late.
Is it? Yeah, it's right on the cusp of too late anyways.
But every year I know there are great CETO events around here. I just haven't looked this year for them.
Well, that's the new geocache search page with you can pull up all the CETO events in the world.
There you go.
In one search. If you're planning, to go to
Okay,
India.
there's a CETO at Cougar Mountain by our friend Hide and Seek.
Awesome.
There's a CETO geocachers gather garbage at Golden Gardens.
Nice alliteration.
And Jeffco CETO Earth Day at the Pirates of the Yukon. That 53 miles north. So that's heading towards your way there.
That's much closer my way.
Of course, there's more. CETO at the beautiful lake at Sacagawea Park. That's still in Washington.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's almost out of Washington. That's the Tri-Cities area, isn't it? Sacagawea Park. That's where the Tri-Cities event was held last year.
Well, no, because it's 82 miles north of me.
Oh, that's a different Sacagawea Park.
Yes.
Never mind then.
Here's an interesting one. In British Columbia, the Island Finders have Go Dog Go, a crazy hat CETO.
Ah, okay. So yes, that wouldn't be in the Lower Mainland. That would be on Vancouver Island. But I'm sure we have listeners on Vancouver Island as well. And
So there are
go.
several in the area.
Yeah.
Wilkes Creek Headwaters CETO Earth Day in Oregon. So
For our Geo-Oregon folks.
yes, exactly. We're not going to leave anybody out.
Awesome.
So plenty of opportunities to get out and clean up the game board in which you play the game you love.
There you go.
Nice.
And it might be too late to host an event, but it's never too late to get out there and clean some stuff up, be part of an event.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, there's a lot more activity in the Q&A, but why don't we wrap up the show because we're about that time, and we can have some after show with the Q&A.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, let's tell our faithful listeners and those new, soon-to-be faithful listeners, where they can find us if they want to find more information about us and contact us. Land Monkey, where would they go?
Well, we have actually, we being I, because Mrs. Land Monkey never does anything on the blog, we have added a new page to the landmonkey.blogspot.ca blog. So for contact info, if you go to landmonkeyblogspot.ca, and for some reason, thank you very much, Blogspot, it is landmonkey.blogspot.ca/p/contacts. I don't know why I have to have a /p in there, but I haven't figured out how to remove that yet.
I don't know.
All right, but if you're more into the quick and dirty social media, well, at least quick social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope at LandMonkeyGC, Facebook, Team LandMonkey, and, of course, always on YouTube, just search LandMonkey. How about you, Wits End?
But of course, YouTube Land Monkey, but of course, Wits End is Wits End on witsend.us, and Facebook.com/witsend, and Twitter.com/witsend, and yeah, witsend.us is probably the quickest, easiest way to find links to all those others there places. Mr. Cop, the bad. How about you?
I still want to say that, but it'll throw people off. Look for Caching NW on Twitter, on Facebook, on Google+, and of course, CachingNW.com.
Very good. Well, thank you all for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. And remember, you can always be a part of the show. Call 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, a glow, a question, or just mail us a CETO souvenir any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Also, remember that your support helps to keep quality shows coming. So if you like this show, please click the PayPal button on the cachingnw.com website. This show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2016 by Chris Umfenauer.
Yes, send us a souvenir. Please don't send us anything you find while doing the CETO.
No.
Night, folks.
Good night. And we are clear of the recording.
Okay.
After show! Come on, guys. After show!
After show!
There we go.
Dun dun dun.
That's right.
A little more enthusiasm for after show.
Sorry, I was reading about some of the Q&A there and thinking that I don't want to make 3 hymns in a row. He's mad at me because he apparently knows how to swing a machete.
Perfect. Well, that'll be helpful.
There is. We struck a nerve tonight. Let me just put it that way.
Mm.
So let's get this out of the way. B
Okay.
Pendragon. I almost included it, but I was gonna. It would jump us a little bit off track, and I didn't want to do that. Driving issues. So speaking of driving, avoid Seattle for the weekend if at all possible. Emerald City Comic-Con and the Mariners' first homestand of the season.
Yeah, baseball.
Yeah. If you could collect concentrated fandom, that's a lot of energy.
Mm.
We could
Yeah.
solve the world's energy crisis right there.
Absolutely, yeah. Good thing I have no plans to head towards Seattle.
Don't head south of Seattle because you have to go through it to get there.
That is also true. You don't head north.
Okay, fair enough.
G-Slink says, after show. Jim, do it in the cool voice.
Oh gosh, do I have it over here? After show.
Awesome. There you go.
You gotta love it. The cool voice. It's like the cruel shoes.
The cruel shoes.
Brylang says Land Monkey loves bisons in cedar trees, if memory serves.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at the expression
loves-
change.
Mm. Me
Love.
kill bisons in cedar trees. If I could, I would ban bisons in cedar trees.
Why don't you become a reviewer?
They would never let me be a reviewer. Are you
Just
kidding
for that
me?
reason.
Oh, there is so many reasons they would never let me. I'm like on the borderline of persona non grata, I'm sure. If I haven't already crossed that line, I don't know.
Maybe he is a reviewer and he's just not letting on.
Dora
Wouldn't that
Moore
be-
says Land Monkey isn't Team Land Monkey on Facebook. It's Land Monkey's Geocaching Adventures, isn't it?
So
Where's that
yeah,
page?
the web link is Team Land Monkey. But yeah, if you search Land Monkey's Geocaching Adventures, you'll get there as well. But it's just that's much more of a mouthful
Yes, exactly. And a typeful.
and a typeful.
Apparently, the monkey is trying to find a paid geocaching gig, says Brylang. 3 Hams ads, and apparently the monkey wasn't working at all today either, judging by the caching outdoor photos he was posting.
All right, so there was one caching outdoor photo that I posted that actually took place today. The other photos I've posted were from the weekend. But I like to pace my social media, especially my Instagram photos. I don't like to just batch them all out at one go. I like to sort of pace them through the week. I think it just keeps things interesting that way.
And nobody knows where you are.
Nobody knows where I are. They know where I've been.
Yes, that's true. Brylang says he's going to start attaching dollar store animals to his bison tubes and cedar trees.
Can you get a dollar store bison?
Ooh.
You can.
Wet
You can
Coaster
actually
says,
get pretty decent bison tubes from one of the dollar stores near us. It's the big chrome, like stainless steel ones.
Mhm.
I just meant a toy bison.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Wet Coaster says, but Land Monkey likes putting munsies in cedar trees. Bad.
I did do that a couple of times just to be an ass. Yeah. I think
you're
Scott
not-
Burks
you're a
calls those
monkey, not a
FU
monkey.
hides. If I can quote Scott Burks on that, which I can because I just did.
Okay. Okay.
You
Now,
can do whatever you want. It's the after show.
Yeah. Love the after show.
okay. Are you ready for this?
Rein the monkey in.
No, let the monkey rant.
What's
Wet
up?
Coaster says, what do you propose doing if several needs maintenance logs get no response?
Okay. There's probably a good case for. Well, yeah.
I know what he's
Pretty
talking
dark,
about.
but
He's
yeah,
brought
write
it
a
up
review.
several times. It's an issue with him.
Yeah. Well, it's an issue. I've seen a few
issue with the
caches in
game.
this general area where. Sorry, Go ahead.
No, please.
I was going to say I've seen several caches in the area where that is a challenge. And sometimes, you've got cachers, either cachers who've left the game, which is why there's no response, or cachers who are kind of in and out of the game, and they're just not really doing maintenance.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a fair question, and I think if we remember the advice from Skookum Bear that the correct
sound effects for that.
Yeah, I do. But the correct action there is to just message a reviewer.
Mm-hmm.
Send them the GC code. Say, "What up?"
That's the exact verbiage we should use.
Pretty much.
But you have to do the face. What up?
And that's very effective while typing.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
Brightling says, a recent Need archived log I wrote. Given the long string of DNFs and the fact that the CO hasn't logged in several years, I would suggest it's time for this one to be archived.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that on a needs maintenance log. I don't think I wrote almost the exact same verbiage I've used on a needs maintenance just to try and get the attention of the reviewers, and that one did get archived. But yeah, I suppose that's fair. I'm just always so reticent to put a needs archive because I feel like if somebody did that on one of my caches, it would just be like a slap. But again,
what if they said sorry?
Well, that would be just a slightly gentler slap, maybe a gloved slap. But again, the point that Brian makes, that if the CO hasn't even logged on in several years, then that's free up the space.
Should all of their caches then be disabled or archived?
Boy, oh boy. Only once they get into a state where they need maintenance.
So even if they
people
haven't
are still
logged in several years,
yeah,
and one cache needs archived, shouldn't the others?
Well, but if the other caches are still in okay condition, they're still in good condition, so not okay condition. If the other caches are still in good condition, then why remove the fun for the people who are finding them?
Yeah, that means somebody else.
This is a
doing
game at the end of the day.
Not for me. Okay. 3 hams.
Yes.
A need archived was dropped on a puzzle cache I was watching because the last 35 meters of the trail were chalked with blackberry thorn. Choked. Now that's what it was supposed to say, isn't it? Were chalked with blackberry thorns. I was so furious at the audacity that I drove over there with a machete and cleared the trail in 15 minutes.
Nice.
So don't get 3 hams angry. You wouldn't
him
like
angry.
him when he's angry.
Right.
Well, fortunately, I'm going caching with 3 hams this weekend, so hopefully, if needed, he'll have those mad machete skills going.
Yeah, I was going to say, bring the machete. You might need it.
Yeah.
What else we got? What you got?
Well, G-Slink, who I'm surprised if he's still up by now.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's approaching tomorrow.
Hardcore
Exactly.
Texan. Hey, I saw a car with a Texas license plate on my drive home today in Vancouver. That was crazy.
Wow, was it passing a
It
United
wasn't
States
big.
post mailbox?
Did you see that? Wasn't that cool? That was neat. But yeah, so then the first thing I thought of when I saw, that wasn't, G-Slink wasn't the first thing I thought of. There was the second thing I thought of. The first thing I thought of was, hey, I thought everything was big in Texas because it was a smaller vehicle. But then the second thing I thought of was, hey, G-Slink's from Texas.
Did you say hi? Hey, do
you know
Gary?
G-Slink? Yeah, I rolled down my window, and then I waved at the young lady driving the vehicle and said, hey, do you know G-Slink? And she did this and drove away.
Rolled up her window and accelerated.
Did you ask her if she remembered the Alamo?
No, I didn't. I
Is she
understand
wearing a
that's in poor
yellow
taste.
rose?
I did not look carefully enough to determine that. I cannot answer that question on the grounds.
Any woman from Texas needs to have a yellow rose highly visible wherever they are. I believe it's law.
Oh, well, we should ask G-Slink that. But in the meantime, G-Slink, I think, also had something else to say, and I interrupted you.
He says needs archived is a capital last resort. and should be used very sparingly, in my opinion. In the 10 years of geocaching, I've posted a needs archiving 3 times, but you need to be if you need to as a responsible cacher, then you need to do it. I agree with that.
Yeah, I like the last resort and very sparingly. I think I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be like Dear Geocache Guy.
No.
He's a dork. Yes, go on.
Doramore, I have to read through the questions. Doramore says, why not have them archived and free up the space for someone else?
I would say absolutely go for it if I trusted other cachers to put out quality geocaches.
Wow. You really have trust issues, don't you?
Yeah, he does have trust issues.
Well, you know what? There's a handful of cachers that I am confident if they put something out, it's going to be an interesting, cool cache. But I'm sorry, like people, you need to step up your game. Come on, the Slinky Monkey Show was all about this exact topic.
Well, clear it out, and then let Three Hams go there with his machete and blaze a path to the geocache.
There you go.
Wet Coaster says, Need Archive gets used too often for the wrong reason. We do need a formula like Munzie to archive caches, or at least create a special flag for the reviewers to see. Maybe a reviewer wake-up flag?
Yeah, we can do a show about that. It'll be fun with flags.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's funny. Pop culture reference. No, I agree. I think, well, of course I agree because he's agreeing with me. But I think there's got to be some sort of automated way we can do it. And like I said, I think the biggest problem is that there's a perception of bias. And, clearly it's not just my perception. The Q&A has also spoken tonight to say that, yeah, there is that perception out that, yeah, so there you go.
Oh, G-Slink is up because there's no work tomorrow. Apparently he's out of work. And Sneaky Mama and I are off. This is G-Slink saying it, not me. Are off on a geocaching weekend in Tyler, Texas.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Bisons and trees are why Land Monkey has trust issues. Either that or dollar stores have changed the name to More Than Dollar for good. It's one of the two.
It's not just trees. I don't mind bisons in trees. It's bisons in cedar hedges that I have a problem with.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Fine. Be that way.
Land Monkey, did you finish your beer from last week?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Did you drink your weekly beer last week?
You know what? I got to tell you. So tonight, I picked up some more, but I got a different brew tonight. I got the cranberry ale, and so let me preface this: Mrs. Land Monkey does not drink beer. She can't stand the taste of beer. So when we're in the pub, getting the growler, I wanted to taste a couple to see what do I want to try this time. I said, hey, I haven't tried your cranberry. Can I try your cranberry? So I had a little sip of it. I thought, this does not taste like ale. So I said to Mrs. Lamb, I said, try it. And she's like, give me the look, right? Like, right. I'm going to try some beer. I'm like, oh, seriously, give it a try. I said, it does not taste like beer. You will not taste any hops. She's like, all right, fine. She has a sip. It's like, that's all right. Which, like, that's all right for beer with Mrs. Land Monkey is like way up there.
Really high mark.
So we picked up a growler of their cranberry ale, and I got to say, pretty spectacular. Quite enjoyed that with dinner tonight.
Well, there you go. What would you pair that with? Dinner?
I actually paired that with cheap Chinese food tonight.
Okay. Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
A Michelin 4-star evening all the way around.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Caviar dreams and champagne wishes, darling.
Oh, good. Well, finish that beer off this week, and you can have another next week.
Thank you.
Oh, Brian Lang has sent along a YouTube link that I was afraid to
dare I
click on.
It was early on. Is that just the? Is that the Star Wars trailer?
Oh, did we lose Land Monkey? There you go.
Yeah, we lost Land Monkey.
Himanamanad. Oh, he's back. Shh.
Did I kill the whole thing, or was it just me?
You broke the internet.
Was it just me, or I shut the whole?
You dropped out.
Okay, but okay, everything's still there. Okay, whew, that was close.
What beer was that again? Brian Lang wants to know.
It's from Trading Post Brewery in Langley, and it is the. Hold on.
Are you reading the comments? Q&A. Oh, here. Let me make sure.
Tap
Okay.
list.
Put
Tap
that
list
back
for
up
Trading
again.
Post.
You weren't front and center. Show that on the video.
So the tap list for Trading Post Brewery. Da, da, da. And the brew that I had is the Captain Cooper's Cranberry Ale with a ABV of 5.9% and an IBU of it's not written on here. It just says IBU.
IBU.
IBU, but the IBU is 6. I remember that, which is actually surprisingly low. But yum yum, it was very good, and I have now I have half a growler full in the fridge because Mrs. Land Monkey likes it too.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. You've been on the podcast for over an hour now. Maybe there isn't any in the fridge.
Don't know that.
That is true.
Go ahead and read from IHAM there, Land Monkey.
Arbor Vitae. Why did it have to be Arbor Vitae? Nice. It's my Indiana Jones moment.
And you get to read the next one too, from Wet Coaster.
Oh, there it is. Fine. Okay. The 4-letter F word that is family friendly and has the same meaning as the not so family friendly word. Hey, that is true. I hadn't ever considered that.
RTFM, read the fine manual.
Yes, that's what that stands for.
Here's another one for you. Land Monkey, you're just doing the Q&A from now on.
Okay. What's my next question? Pop it up for me there.
It's gone.
Pop it.
It says, what beer pairs well with craft dinner and diced hot dogs?
Diced hot dogs mixed in. Well, that is an excellent question. For craft dinner with diced hot dogs mixed in, I would go with something a little darker. If you're going to go to the Trading Post Brewery, I would get the Three Bears Breakfast Stout, or really any dark, heavy stout to go with craft dinner and diced hot dogs mixed in. So there you go.
Okay.
Fine.
I don't know, but all this talk of craft dinner and diced hot dogs makes me hungry.
We skipped lunch today, so it's time to go eat. Oh, wait,
you guys have craft dinner, right, in the States?
We call it Kraft macaroni and cheese.
The mac and cheese?
Okay.
Same idea, yes.
Because now this may have changed because my information is 20 years old, but when I went to England 20 years ago, well, maybe not quite 20, but quite a while ago, you could not buy craft dinner there. And so my wife's Canadian cousin, who was living in rural England, was quite delighted when we bought like a Costco-sized package of craft dinner with us.
Is it just macaroni with the powdered cheese sauce? Is it the same? Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
So when I was over in Africa, we bought a bunch of craft dinner, craft macaroni and cheese, and all we did is take the cheese sauce because we could get the macaroni, and we were traveling, so we just needed the packet. So
Travel light.
I left my mother-in-law with 10 boxes of opened macaroni. Here, eat this.
Never go hungry again.
And calling the orange powdered cheese is a stretch, but
yeah, that's true.
I do find it delicious.
This is true.
Yes, it's comfort food. We all grew up with it.
Mm.
And the hot dog or hamburger. Adding any meat to that. Spam goes well.
I like tuna
with
fish in mine.
Yeah, it makes a good casserole.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had it with tuna fish.
I like tuna.
I do too.
Way to go, big tuna.
Can you sprinkle crushed Cheetos on top?
I'm sure you could.
Yeah, wouldn't that just
serve it on top of a T-bone?
T-bone. That sounds good. I'll have a T-bone.
Well, maybe we should call you T-bone.
You should do that. All right. Well, have we put everybody to bed?
I think so.
B Pendragon has to go through Seattle to get to work at Microsoft. So he's back at work at Microsoft. Well, good for him.
Yeah, that's cool.
Somebody's got to work there.
Work.
I mean,
Well, I'm glad somebody we know works there.
Yeah, exactly.
Die Monkey had to smuggle or carry some Kraft mac and cheese to her brother in Japan once. Okay, interesting. So they don't have it in Japan either.
There you go.
Very cool. Coolio.
That was IHAM. Oh no, Die Monkey. You're right.
And by the way,
Die Monkey had to.
Yes. By the way, the reason that I disconnected is because I accidentally clicked the link in the wrong window that Brylang had posted there. It is a link to the Muppets doing the Manum song.
Yeah, we played it.
We played it while you were gone.
What did you?
Yeah. It was like you were here, though.
Manum. Do 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 do.
Oh.
That's the one.
White Ghoster says, for the Egress players here, try a beer from Dead Frog Brewery in Langley.
Also a good brewery. A little further out for me, but...
3ham says, crushed Cheetos on mac and cheese. My kids are going to die and go to heaven. Yeah, that's just because there's enough cholesterol and all that to kill them
Right.
upon consuming.
Oh, that is too many. Well, at least he's confident that his kids will go to heaven.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's the point we were trying to make there.
Oh no! I thought, okay.
But I'm not arguing it.
Caching in the Northwest, the only podcast where we check on your assuredness of your salvation.
Oh, and your cholesterol level.
And your cholesterol level. Diet tips from Caching in the Northwest.
Oh, that's not working. Look at me. It's more dying tips.
Oh my goodness. This is why B Pendragon does not come to the show for cooking tips. Good idea.
Oh. So that whole cooking podcast we had going, that we should just cancel that before it starts.
Oh, I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Cooking in the Northwest.
There you go. All right, my friends.
Okay.
Is that an after show? Well, I would say that, but I don't have quite the voice, so maybe Jim needs to.
After show.
That's it. Guys, thank you so much. This is fun for us. Just to get out here and chat with you and, tell you how to make your mac and cheese just a little bit better.
And thank you for listening patiently to my rants. I appreciate your patience.
And sing Muppet songs.
Yeah, thank you for singing Muppet songs with me. You guys are awesome.
You have to be like the Muppet, though. You have to, like.
Hey, 3 hams in a row. Guess what we're doing on the hike this weekend?
He's going to take his machete.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I know what you're going to eat.
Okay, nice knowing you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tonight's podcast brought to you by Romans 8:13 Classic. I love it.
Love it.
All right, my friends.
Night,
Have
guys.
an awesome
everybody.
week.